there. Welcome back to Jane's Stories of Life. You know, there's some things that just trigger memories. Sometimes it's a thought, sometimes it's a song, sometimes it's as simple as an aroma or a taste or something that has to do with childhood memories based on food. One of the foods that I have lots of stories and memories about happens to be popcorn. Popcorn is one of the oldest snacks, or one of the oldest foods that's been in existence for a long time. For thousands of years. They say that they even found evidence of popcorn in Aztec ruins and things like that. But popcorn was a popular snack. As I was growing up, I've been reading some things, and it said that during the Depression, especially after World War II, when sugar was rationed and there were a lot of shortages, there weren't a lot of sweet things that were available for snacks. Popcorn was cheap, and so it became a very popular snack. Maybe it's my roots in Iowa. You know, my mom grew up in Iowa. You could ride for days and days and days, and all you saw was fields of corn, fields of corn, fields of corn. That's not really true. It's not really why I love popcorn, but I do. So anyway, but popcorn, you know, satisfies those five senses. In my years of teaching kindergarten and first grade, you know, the five senses, it has a certain taste. There certainly is a smell. When you smell popcorn, it's like, oh wow, it takes you back. There's there is the crunchiness of popcorn, the feel. There is the sight, say you hear it when it's popping, you know, it's a certain sound. And so I thought of all of those things. Growing up, we popped popcorn, of course, in a pan. You know, there were no microwaves back then. That's something that came about much later. We went to the movies every Saturday. It was 25 cents to get into the movie. And that was usually a double feature along with a newsreel and also cartoons. And if you had a dime, I think it was a dime, maybe it was only a nickel, you could get a big thing of popcorn. And for another nickel or dime, you could get the melted butter that was drizzled the machine with the melted butter would turn around and drip down on your popcorn. So that was great. When I was teaching in Detroit, sometimes the day before payday, my dinner might have been popcorn and some fruit. You know how that can be when you're don't have a lot of money. Morgan and I laughed because our dates seemed to revolve around popcorn. We were either going to the movies or we were going to a sporting event, and it seemed like we always had popcorn. I don't think we ever went out to dinner for a date. It was usually something with popcorn. We were poor. You know, my starting salary as a teacher in 1964 was $5,000. And he was also a teacher. So between the two of us, we didn't have a lot of money to do a lot of, you know, fancy-dancy things. But popcorn has always been something that I've enjoyed. Now I pop popcorn. Popcorn has to be a part of watching a football game. You know, the Ohio State game the other night, I popped popcorn the day before. I had some that day as a snack, but I saved some to have that night, the next day for the Ohio State game. Things like chips and Doritos, I like to check on things. Potato chips were actually developed or invented by an African-American man in Saratoga Springs, New York. In response, he was a cook at a restaurant, and then someone complained that his fried potatoes were too thick. So he started making thinner potato slices, which, you know, became the prototype eventually for potato chips. Corn chips or Fritos came in around the 60s, and I think, as I read, the Disney park, I guess Disneyland, or Disney restaurants used to throw away leftover tortillas. And there was a salesman who came by who noticed that these leftover tortillas had been thrown away. He suggested that they fry them and season them, then sell them. And so that was how tortilla chips came about. And I believe I read that was in the 60s. So, you know, it's been interesting. Then we went to Jiffy Pop. Some of you may remember the foil pan that you shook in the dome of the foil as the corn popped, expanded. That was fun too. Then the air fry. Oh my gosh, that was some horrible tasting stuff. We were on that weight conscious thing, and so everybody had an air popper. Oh, I mean, that was dreadful. Finally, microwave popcorn came into being, and that's a great convenience. Heaven forbid if you forgot the time and let it microwave too long. Shortly after John bought a house in Atlanta, his first house, we went to visit. He was out for the evening, so Morgan and I decided to have some microwave popcorn. Lord have mercy, didn't I, not being familiar with his microwave, set it the way I set mine at home, and that bad boy burned. And you talk about an odor. It is hard to get rid of the smell of burned microwave popcorn. So, if you've done it, you know what I mean. Finally, popcorn now at the movies. Who can afford that? I certainly can't. As much as I love popcorn, and in the recent years, a lot of fundraising popcorn sales have popped up. I have to watch my sodium, and most commercially popcorn has way too much sodium for me. I just can't eat it. I just don't. So, I pop my own all the time. And I have a well-seasoned, wait, I have to show you my well-seasoned pot. This is my popcorn pot, and you can see how well-seasoned that is. I only use this pot for popcorn, and it gets good use. I'm going to pop some popcorn maybe later on, because now that I'm talking about it, my mouth is watering for some popcorn. So maybe you're popcorn lovers, maybe you're not, but popcorn was on my mind when I woke up this morning. I thought, boy, I feel like some popcorn. I haven't had popcorn yet for breakfast. I do eat odd things for breakfast. I don't think I've had it for breakfast as yet, but popcorn is something that I truly enjoy. And so today I thought, and the other thing I thought about, there was a time when people talked about using a needle and thread and stringing popcorn to hang either on a Christmas tree in your house and stringing cranberries, or doing that and putting it on trees outside for birds. Now, I feel sorry for the birds. They need to find food, but sorry, birds. And sorry, tree in the house. My popcorn is not going to be hanging anywhere except on my tongue. So, anyway, I think that's it for today. But popcorn brings about so many memories. I just, sometimes, as I said, there are foods, there are aromas, there's taste, there's things that just take you back to experiences in your youth or even in your old age. So cherish your memories and pass them on. And I will be popping some popcorn later today. Take care. That's it. Bye-bye.